Tonight, I just wanna take you high. Throw your hands up in the sky. Let's set this party on fire. Players, put your pinky rings up.
Here to talk about this girl. And obviously, I'm here to talk about Octavia and the State of Warframe and everything that's going on. Right now, I'm like kind of just jaded by the game. But first, let's get into Octavia before we talk about how I feel about the game right now. Octavia is a new sound Warframe. Really cool looking. Just bought her. I actually did another video, but the audio was horrible, so I had to redo it. As you can see, cool looking. LED lights going through her with little speakers on her arms. And I think she has the same thing on her legs as well. She actually has two weapons that came out with her. And there's sound packs for her too. Kind of expensive. I'm not doing all that. I'm pretty much done with Warframe. Right now, the State of Warframe, it kind of feels like a hero collector to me. We're going through all this no content for years. There's nothing to do. Every content update is a new character, which is okay. Well, I got a new character. What can I do with this character? What can I do with this new weapon? I understand that there's a new weapon. I understand that there's a new character. There's a new frame. Well, what the hell am I doing with it? That's been the problem with Warframe since the beginning. They kept making new frames, new powers, new weapons. I mean, some of the frames are kind of like cut and copy and paste of like other frames. They're just mixed and jumbled. I mean, this one's completely new. But some other frames, so I won't mention right now, are exactly like that. And we can go inside my list of frames and look. Like I have all the frames, have all of them. Some of these are my favorites that I love. I mean, I played Excalibur at the beginning, and Excalibur Prime is my favorite. After the rework was amazing, but then got nerfed because obviously a new frame came out. So every time that there's a powerful Warframe and a new one comes out, they always nerf the older frames so the newer one stands out. So you would buy it or go after it, or you feel like I have to get this. I have to spend time getting this new frame. And I've done exactly that. I've followed that mentality, and I've been there with every single frame. Besides, like, I quit maybe like a year ago. I don't know how long ago it was that I quit. When I came back a few weeks ago, I had to level up 8 frames, and I mean it was fun. It was cool that I leveled them all up, but I just grinded for like a day and a half, leveling them all up to 30. It didn't form any of them. And then afterwards, it was like, all right, which one do I want to play? Which one do I like? Are any of them any fun, really? And what the hell am I going to do with all these leveled up frames? Well, what am I going to do with them? And that's been the problem. Like, Nidus is my favorite out of all the new frames. Neza, who else? Inaros, Titania, Valkyrie Prime. Who else? Octavia. I haven't played her yet. I bought her, haven't played her. I'm gonna leave her at 0. I'm not gonna play her because I'm done. Ivara, Atlas. Those were all frames that I haven't played. That when I came back, they were here. So and Wukong as well. So I got all of those. Level them all up. None of them are fun. um, but the thing is, different frames can be fun for different people, which is great that there's so many. It gives people choices of what they want to do. Obviously, Frost and Excalibur Prime fit into my playstyle. Mirage fits into my playstyle. And the kind of like the frames I like to play. Obviously, Rhino Prime. I mean, that almost fits into everyone's person. But that's kind of what I like. I like casters that do big damage. And with Excalibur Prime's well, newer revamp. Uh, that's kind of the frames that I like. But besides that, actually talking about what I was talking about before. I mean, I've even talking to the community. What do you do all day? Oh well, I farm some prime parts and I sell them. So you're an economist. Okay, well you get to. That's it. Is there anything else? Do you raid? Go out and farm nodes? Is there anything to do in Warframe? Like, how do you get a new person involved in Warframe? And it's hard for me to do that. I'm sitting here like, oh well, you can farm focus, or you can do this, or you can do that. You can do the same mission over and over and over again for 8 hours, for 10 hours, for 2 hours, for 1 hour, and just be like, okay, well, it's boring as hell. What am I actually doing in Warframe? And that's the annoying part. That's the annoying part of Warframe. When you figure out that there's nothing to do. Get here and you look at this map, you're like, wow, this map's awesome. Look at all the things. But they're almost all the same. And since the beginning of Warframe, there's only been minuscule updates. There hasn't been like huge overhauls of the game. There's been, oh, we changed the star map. Star map's still the same thing. It doesn't change. Like, there's no driving the Lisette from Uranus to Neptune. They didn't make it like a 3D world where you're in your Lisette and you're kind of, let's say, on standby at a planet, hanging out. Oh, I want to go to Pluto. So from Uranus to Pluto, you get to drive yourself to Pluto. You can farm nodes and kill enemies on the way there, hang out, do whatever you want. Fucking fly to see other Lisettes, go visit the person inside that Lisette, talk to them, chill, and then go back inside yours and then drive to a planet and finish driving to your planet or to the Kuva Fortress or to your dojo. Everything's just instanced. And with instance games, you kind of lose the opportunities to make immersion. And I feel like there's no immersion in Warframe. The tile sets have been the same. They added a couple new ones, but with that, it has only been retexturizing. Uh, graphic wise, they added some updates to that. Textures with the Sindanas, with the Warframes themselves, everything's been smoothed out and changed to a more flowier look. Obviously, the running, the wall jumping, all that has been changed. All of that. But these are just core parts of a game, like that you do at an admin stage in like a little box room. This is all stuff that should have been done long time ago. I mean, even if you decide to upgrade a core system, that's just a core system. What about the game itself when the people and the things that the people do in the game? And that's where Warframe has continued to fall short and will either keep falling short and die off, or they'll use all the money that they've earned and actually go out and put that towards developing, because they've only written a couple of stories, and all this lore, almost all the lore, has been out before at the beginning. They put out most of the lore for all this at the beginning, so they've only had to write new lore for Kuva and a couple of other things that don't even want to mention because they weren't that good. They've only had to write a couple of additional stories. There's not a lot of quests, and almost all the quests are for other characters. So when it's that way, when someone's like, "All right, I did the quest, I unlocked this, I did this, I'm good now. I I can farm for the frame, or now I got the parts for the frame. Now I'm gonna build the frame." Okay, 3 days go by, 9 days go by, whatever, 10 days go by. You finally have that frame, or you just went out and bought that frame. What the fuck do you do with it? That's the problem. There's nothing to do. You do the same thing over and over and over again, and not like, oh, I'm going to go do a raid over again, or there's a certain piece of gear that I'm trying to go get. No, you literally do the same thing on every planet over and over again. There's not enough mission types there's just not enough to do in Warframe. And when you give a huge community like the Warframe community, who have been so pleasant with DE because they just love the the idea of Warframe, space ninjas. When that first came out, play your way, and being a ninja in space, I lost my mind. I was like, I have to play this. I'm a day one player, and I've been playing forever, and it sucks to see a game in this state. Just a little proof. Go put it on Dahlia. See, I have my Hunter's Emblem. I didn't spend a lot of money, so obviously I don't have the Master's Emblem or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know what it's called. Um, but I've been playing for a really long time, and right now Warframe feels as valuable as a hero collector. It's just collecting frames to do nothing. That's the state of the game, and it needs to change. They need to either overhaul, make an open world, or fix the amount of missions that there are, the amount of raids that there are. If you're gonna have an instance game, you better have a lot of instanced things to do instead of making this whole new massive world where there's things to do everywhere. You need to have a list, a gaggle of things for people to do nonstop. And I understand that the PvE in this game could be better and that you're working on it, but it's been years. And the PvP is great. Can't complain about the PvP. It's fun going in and wrecking other frames. That's fun, no doubt. But there needs to be a change in the state of the game. And putting out new Prime access, putting out new frames, that doesn't change anything. Because at the end of the day, that person sits around with that new frame and does nothing. I buy Prime access, play for a day, and then I don't come back for the next update. And then I buy Prime access again, or I just buy the new frame again. And then I play for maybe a day, and then I leave again. That's been the state of me and Warframe, which sucks because it's such a beautiful game. It can be taken to a whole nother level, but either they need more inspiration, newer staff, new minds on board, or they need to scrap it, because we can't sit here and have this huge community of great people that are just so compliant with you guys, that never complain, that just want more from you and don't even yell, cuss you guys out. Like, you guys have one of the best communities. Digital Extreme has one of the best player communities in the gaming industry, and they're taking advantage of it. They're so just like compliant and happy. When you see their streams, they're just like happy-go-lucky about we're putting out a new frame, and we're doing one thing, and we're doing two things, or we're doing three things. But there's never, oh, actually, we're putting out multiple things. It's gonna be a huge update. We're gonna expand this. We're gonna grow this. It's not that. It's always, oh, we have a new Sindana, new frame. Here's a new pet. Here's a new thing. Here's something shiny to look at, while we make another new shiny thing to look at, instead of making more content for the game. But I don't want to sit here and rant and go crazy over the game. In the comments below, let me know what you think about the state of the game, and where you think it should go, how DE should approach it, and even argue with me. That's perfectly fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So go ahead, yeah, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.
Girls, what y'all trying to do?